Especially when you love him badly. You give him house, land, all your money, and still he leave you in misery. Ale, long day, ale, ipite muera, ale, ale, moto malewe, moto kamache, Your life will never be the same again. You have too much worries on your brain. He took the children and he ran away. You like a daughter, don't know what to say. Ale, langite ale, ikite muela, ave y ale, moto malewe, mompaka maje, ale, langite ale, ikite muela, ave y ale, moto malewe, mompaka maje, oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. You used to buy him almost anything, expensive gardens and diamond rings. But all the time he there pretending is another woman he dey like me. Ale, langite ale, ikite muela, ave y ale, monto malewe, monta kamaje, ale, langite ale, ikite muela, ave y ale, monto malewe, monta kamaje,
Now, back to the hottest talk show on the net with your host, Russ Sills.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. It's the JMO talk show with yours truly, Russ Sills. We're back for another year, our 8th year. That's what's up, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in each and every Friday night with your boy, Russ Sills, right here on Facebook Live. Tonight, we have a great show in store for y'all tonight. We have this gentleman here from the USVI, he's a Cushion from St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands. All right? Spiritual.
Unknown.
And also the president of the Georgia Virgin Island Association, Mr. Warren Bongo Mitchell. He's going to tell me exactly where he actually from, but I know him as a Cushion. Anyway, man, make sure y'all tell a friend tonight. We're going to be getting down to some serious, positive, spiritual stuff, man. So make sure y'all share the live. Tell a friend, man. This is a show that I always look forward to. It's been a while. I think it's been 5-6 years. The last time Mr. Bongo Mitchell been on the JMO talk show. So it's been a long time coming. It's always a pleasure to have this gentleman here on my show because he's spitting knowledge, a lot of knowledge, and a lot of stuff that we go through that we need to hear. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely want to start off the year on a positive note, man. So I appreciate y'all tuning in each and every Friday night again, the JMO Talk Show for the 8th year. 8th year. Wow. This year, man. This has been a long time, and I appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all, man. Shout out to everybody on Facebook Live. I see y'all, man. I see Stan, Philip. Thank you. Appreciate you for tuning in. Appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all. Make sure y'all share the live, okay? So without further ado, I would like to introduce you all to the president of the Georgia Virgin Islands Association here in Atlanta, Georgia. Well, Georgia, actually, and spiritual advisor, Mr. Warren Bongo Mitchell. What's going on?
Hey, brother, I'm good, man. I'm good. What's up, my king? What's going on?
It's always a pleasure to have you here, man. Thank you, man. I think there's so much going on around the world that, you know, we need to kind of step back for a little bit and kind of redirect our life evaluation and probably get some serious answers. You know, we need to stop lying to ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So it's always a pleasure to have you on the show, man. Good evening. Thank you.
No problem, man. It's an honor and a pleasure definitely to be here. Thank you again. I think it's my 3rd time being here on your show, and I always appreciate the opportunity to just share knowledge, information, and encourage the people, and just to do things to support our people, man.
Most definitely. So it's been a while. So I know pretty much a lot of people from the Georgia region, from the Virgin Islands, know who is Warren Bongo Mitchell. But for our new listeners and people listening from all over the world, we got people listening from all the way from Japan, Seattle, California, Miami, all over. So let's start this off on the right track. Who is Mr. Warren Bongo Mitchell?
Well, sir, I am a son of 2 just powerful people. My mother, Annie Mitchell, from the island of Dominica. My father, Francis Stanley, Mr. Reds Mitchell, from the island of St. Lucia. Born in St. Croix, have my brother Terry, the red dog in St. Croix, and my sister Linda, who's here in Atlanta as well. I have a beautiful wife named Jillian from Trinidad. We have 3 kids, my daughter Nia, who is in medical school at Duke, and my sons Jabari and Kasim. Jabari is at Georgia State, Kasim is at Kennesaw State. I am actually a therapist. I'm in private practice. My practice is Journey of Self-Discovery. I've been in the field for over 31 years, and my practice about 15 years now.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. Well, I mean, I see that you also do wedding, as you know, what do you call it? You, as I want to say, are you a pastor, a reverend?
Oh,
yeah.
Well, I do. Based on my clients, couples that I've seen, they've asked me to marry them. And I was like, I don't know if I could do that. But when I looked up online and realized what it is you'd have to do to be an officiant, to marry people, I guess I could do it. And they said that, you know us better than our pastors, or we don't go to church regularly and you know us in more depth. So it'd be more personal for us if you would marry us. So I decided to, okay, let me go ahead and do that. And I got registered as an officiant, so I can do weddings, funerals. I haven't done any of those, baptism, and other things. So just, and it fit within the work that I do. I believe that what I do is ministry. I don't have to have a traditional church, if you would. My church, I think I tell people, I have a church without walls, and I go with God sent me.
That's what's up. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I've been to my cousin wedding last year, and you really did a good job. I was like, okay. I thought when I saw you, I thought you was a guest. I thought you was a guest. Remember we met at the bar.
Yeah.
Right? I was kind of saying like, well, Bongo, he don't drink, he had water. Of course, I have to give him a little drink on.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
okay, I feel like, you're here as a guest. So when I see you now officiating the wedding, I said, okay, all right.
Yeah.
I see Bongo, I see you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So I
So do it
just
all, man.
added that to the list of things I do. Since it's in line with what I do, I'm like, okay, no problem.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. Shout out to everybody on Instagram too. I got my Instagram. I'm going live on Instagram as well. So shout out to everybody on Instagram. Make sure y'all share the live on Instagram. This is the JMO Talk Show with yours truly, Russell's first time on Instagram.
Wow.
All right.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So it's been a while. It's been what, 5-6 years since you've been on the JMO
Yeah, I
Talk
think
Show,
so.
and
That's about correct.
yeah, and so much thing have happened within the last 5-6 years. I mean, we had um, two president of the United States.
No.
We just had one just one last year. We had two Category 5 hurricanes in the Virgin Islands,
Yeah.
Irma, Maria, which was first time ever, and it was devastation, I should say.
Yeah.
We had here first time since I've been here in Georgia for 20 what? It's going to be what, 23 years this
Okay.
year.
Wow.
First time since I've been here, Georgia been blue all over. I
Yeah.
mean, when I say blue in the Senate, blue.
Yeah.
We voted blue first time since Clinton first term. Georgia went blue. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's a lot have happened within the 5-6 years.
Okay.
And I decided to have you on the show, actually to come on the show, because I think that we needed that spiritual healing. I think,
Okay.
and then not even that, we were just talking before we got on the show about how we are distracted, from so many things, social media, just a whole lot of stuff that we are distracted from, that we need to get focused, get back to focus, get back to the basic. And I said, you know what, who other than Bongo Mitchell to start this year? So how have all of this within the 5-6 year have affected you personally, and affected your life, your living, your way of living? I
Yeah.
know that you say that you added a couple things on your niche, on your belt, which is you're the president of the association, and
Yeah.
also you could officiate weddings, etc. But how have all of these stuff, these global historic issues, have affected you?
Yeah, personally, it's more about like taking a step back for me. I believe I am responsible for so many people. There's my family. There's myself. There's my family, and their clients that I serve, and the community at large. That people who know me as someone who tries to encourage and inspire people. I'm like, I gotta take care of myself, and to take a step back and look at what is going on here, what's happening. I didn't want to get caught up in all the emotions, and it was pretty intense. This a major shift worldwide, and affecting so many people. And then alongside of that, we had a lot of the racial issues that was going on with the police brutality, and how people still, even when the spotlight was on them, it still was happening. So imagine, what was going on behind the scenes. So for me, it was just imperative. I'm like, this is a serious movement. Something is happening within our midst. And it's more, to me, it's beyond what's on the surface. There's stuff that's going on behind the scenes that I had to take a time out to kind of check back, to take a step back. So I had to be careful of how much I involve myself with certain things. And, I had a podcast that I was doing, still here, but I haven't recorded an episode. Just before the pandemic was my last episode. And I'm like, I don't want to push myself in too many places. And so I had to pull back on doing some of that. So just taking care and making sure my family is okay and they're doing well, and trying to be careful with, everybody is staying safe. Professionally, it boomed. A lot of people, because of what has been going on within the pandemic. And as you said, there are a lot of deaths that has taken place all of a sudden. And even death, people have rituals when people die to help them with the grieving process, but people couldn't even participate in their cultural and personal family rituals because they couldn't be in the hospital with loved ones in the last days. They were alone, and that affected people deeply. And it was hard. You couldn't even bring family together to say goodbye. It had to be small gatherings because of the pandemic, and wanting to reduce the likelihood of people being infected. And so there are a lot of shifting and changes that's going on that's causing a lot of stress for a lot of people. And a lot of people who come in to see me now, it's not like some of this stuff is actually new as well. Some of the stuff that they come in to see me with, they were dealing with these issues before the pandemic, but they had coping skills to bury a lot of that stuff. But the pandemic forced people to take a look at themselves. They had to stay home and deal with the reality of what's going on at home, and deal with the reality of what's going on in their lives. And that was a challenge for many, many people. And so professionally, it has just grown. My role right now is trying to see, okay, how best to use this, and how can I reach more people? Because I'm only one person, and not just me. There are a lot of therapists that are booked right now, and I have kind of like a waiting list, and it's just so messy. So I'm trying to see how to do online classes, and my ultimate goal, because I went home last Christmas, and because I needed a break, and I went home.
So you basically were getting overwhelmed then.
Yeah, it was. Like, it was so many people with so many issues, and it's deep issues. It wasn't just simple stuff. And so going home, and it was so refreshing for me. And I'm like, why am I not coming here more often?
Wow.
And so been in prayer about to see, what am I going to do? What would I do? What can I do? How can I use my skills to create a business at home, so that I can travel there more often? So I'm praying about it, but so far it's looked like a retreat center that I would like to be able to start back home to help the people back home, and even anywhere who people like to travel to come to St. Croix, for me to facilitate a retreat to help
do you
them.
think that could be federally funded? Because we joke about it, and I would say within the last few years we've been seeing a lot of people struggling with mental issues.
Right, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Meaning, like, back in the days, Bongo, you see a man walking the street talking to you, saying, "Oh, he crazy, he crazy, But we really have people amongst us that look like you.
Right.
Well groomed, well dressed. You swear that they got it going on, they got things together, and they suffering from mental issues.
Right.
We've seen a lot of that, not just on a Hollywood platform, but we've seen it in our with people amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Go ahead.
No, so I was just saying, like, is that something that you could maybe talk to our delegate to Congress, Stacey Plaskett, or even people at home? I think we need to start taking this thing very seriously, man.
Most definitely. I'm on the committee with the Children and Youth Task Force with Dr. Victor and some of the people back home, and the issues, and that started, I think, during the Category 5 hurricanes, with a lot of young people being ignored during that process and what they were going through. And so and there's a great need for especially some sort of long-term care for people with mental health, struggling with mental health concerns or issues. And a lot of them are being imprisoned or sent to jail. And there's no real treatment in that setting. And so a lot of people may be acting out or doing some of the things because they're struggling with mental health issues or untreated mental health issues. And not everybody with, there's two levels of, when we say mental health issues, there's mental illness, those who are have severe mental issues with like schizophrenia and some of the deeper mental health disorders. And then there are those who are just regular folks who are dealing with just emotional challenges in relationships, personal development, job, stress, that most of us are in that category. But a lot of people who fit that category, when they hear mental health, they think of the other people, or they, as you said, someone on the street who might be talking to themselves, and they're like, I'm not a crazy person. I don't want to go see a therapist because people don't think I'm crazy. And that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think that we really need to take it seriously. And I said to myself that I need to, because people have reached out to me, not just last year, but right after the hurricane, and said that I need to, me as my platform, I need to be more engaged with pushing mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I don't have a problem with. Anybody that have anything that they would like to share, or they would like to introduce to the community, or even educate the community for, this is what the JMO Talk Show for. So I don't have a problem with having anyone that wants to talk about mental health issues. I know sometimes people that dealing with mental health issues kind of scared to talk about it, because they don't want people to kind of label them as the cuckoo for cuckoo puff and all that stuff, but
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think I always say this here too, Bongo, therapy works. Therapy works.
Definitely.
Therapy works. Counseling works. Talking to somebody works. I do it. You know what I'm saying? I had to get myself together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna share something with you and the listeners too, is that when you're accustomed to doing something, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've been doing it for years, you've been working, you don't hurt nobody, you think you're not hurting nobody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you're doing something for so many years. Like, that's part of your norm. But when you really sit down and see that, you know what, this ain't right.
Right.
This ain't right. And when you be honest with yourself and talk to somebody about that.
Yes.
And they really now, instead of them, and this is what counseling do. People are afraid to go counseling. I don't know why, but counselors don't say you full of shit, or you're a bad person, or shame on you. That's not their job. Their job is to help you get over what you get dealing with. Help you, assist you with it, give you, information, or what I'm saying, talk to you. You know what I mean? And I think that a lot of people needs to do that. They need to have somebody other than your friend, your family, your loved one. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you need to talk to somebody you don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no,
talk to somebody you don't.
I think that's very important. I think everybody should go through some sort of round of counseling, especially people who are going to either get married or if they have kids, that you need to go through some sort of counseling to help you to see how are you, because so much of a lot of the adult problems that people are dealing with, or even coming to me or going to other therapists for, is because of things that has happened in childhood that has been unresolved. And many of us have gone through a lot of things that would be traumatic for us. Yeah, some people may or may not consider it traumatic from their perspective, but it's not what is in their perspective. It's for us, how impactful that was for us. And there are a lot of things that we have gone through that if we don't deal with, without us knowing it, we are going to pass that on to our kids. And that's crucial. They don't care how much you say, I'll never be like my dad, I'll never be like my mother, I'll never do. If you have lived in a situation for an extended time period, those seeds have been implanted in you.
Wow.
And you are most definitely going to pass on a lot of that stuff if you don't check yourself and recognize the challenges. Even some of the issues that get stirred up when we have kids or when we get into intimate relationships. A lot of those issues are things that are unresolved. We came to the table with them, but because when we were alone, we had coping mechanisms to deal with them. Now that we're in committed relationships or we have kids, we have to be a bit more vulnerable. And so those issues are going to rise to the surface, and we might blame the person for stirring it up. But if we didn't have it in the first place, there will be nothing to be stirred up. So we got to check ourselves and be able to stop passing generational psychological and spiritual curses onto the next generation.
You know something, while we were just talking, and I was just thinking deeply to myself, saying like, we bash on people, or we turn our nose up, or we kind of look at people who struggling with drug abuse.
Right.
Why are you doing this, or why you can't stop? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You be so hard on people on that. Why you can't stop? It ain't right for you. Why you doing it? But let's look at something deeper. The same person that telling a person why you can't stop taking drugs, why you shooting up and this and that. But that same person might be struggling with can't get over a person where that person is abusive to them, or not good for them. You know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? They telling that person how bad you is, and you no good. Drugs is not good for you, but they suffering from something else.
Yeah, some of them may be suffering from addiction to bad relationships.
You see what I'm saying? Over and over.
over and over again, repeating the same patterns. Yes.
You see what I'm saying? So, like I said, we need to stop lying to ourselves and talk to somebody. Like I said, I'll be honest with you. Therapy works. Counseling works.
Yeah, I'm in therapy. I have an individual therapist that I go to whenever I need to, and I have also a marriage counselor, a therapist, whenever we need to. My wife and I go to work some things out, because sometimes, even as a therapist, I can't be a therapist to my wife. I have to be a husband, and as a husband, I'm more clearly can see my issues than if I'm a therapist, just kind of looking at it from an intellectual perspective. But in the role of a husband, I have to be able to try and understand where my wife is coming from, and what is it that she's seeing that I'm causing or doing or not doing that's offending her. And I have to be able to check that. And I need somebody else to help me to see things more objectively, because when we're too close emotionally, we don't see the big picture. So we need someone to help us take a step back and look at, and then we have better perspective on what the problem is. But when we're too close, we think we see the big picture. We think all we see is all there is. No, there's so much more to why we are acting out the way that we do, that we need another person to maybe help us see and articulate some of the stuff that we are even feeling or sensing inside of us.
Most definitely. If you're just joining us, we have the spiritual advisor and president of the Georgia Virgin Island Association, Mr. Warren Bongo Mitchell. He's here with us tonight, our first show for 2022. So if you're just joining us, make sure you share the live, tell a friend. We're going deep. We're getting some deep things, deep answers, questions that you would like to ask Mr. Bongo Mitchell. You can hit me up on my Instagram page, JMO Talk Show 2, the number 2. Or you could even hit me up on the Facebook Live, my Facebook page, Russ Sills. All right. Shout out to everybody on Facebook Live. I see y'all, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. We have Tony T all the way from Japan. As usual, my cousin, always representing from Japan. My co-worker, Tasha, thank you for tuning in. My nephew all the way from NYC, Spirit. Rodney, big up yourself. Shanika all the way from Florida, thank you for tuning in. Hey, Willie, how about them dogs, man? Hey, Karima, thank you for tuning in all the way from the DMV. We have Roro Richardson, thank you for tuning in. Noreen, thank you for tuning in all the way from Florida. Linda, hey, Linda Ray, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you, man. Stan Phillip and Leon Ricketts. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. Appreciate y'all, man. All right, so we're gonna kind of change it up a little bit, change the pace a little bit. Let's talk about you being president of the Georgia Virgin Islands Association. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
I know we haven't talked in a while, but congratulations to you. I see that you have been doing some virtual interviews as well, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
So
thank you for leading the way with that. And like after I came from your first show, I'm like, I could do this. And so that definitely opened me up. So no, thank you. I think we started in the year of the pandemic is when I was elected president, and we started Vibe with VIAG as a way to keep the people informed and educated. Since we couldn't meet in person, we started that talk show, and it's just, things have been going really well. We've been reaching out to a lot more people, trying to stay active in the community and allow people to see people from home, from the Caribbean, who are doing excellent and wonderful and great things in the community, and just trying to get backstories of behind the scenes of who are these people, and why the things that they're involved in, why are they doing it. And so it's just been a great opportunity to contribute to the local community here, as well as the community back home, because we also did a series with the Children and Youth Task Force. That's how I got involved with them in talking about human and sex trafficking that was going on with the Epstein situation at home, and even here, Atlanta being a major hub for human trafficking as well. So we are here to serve and help you. And if you have ideas of how we can be more supportive to the community, please let us know. The Virgin Islands Association, you can check us out on Facebook as well. I have a great team of queens that are with me in doing this work. Just appreciate the opportunity.
Well, I'm gonna extend my my hand out, Bongo. Anytime that you need help, JMO Talk Show, just let me know. And
yeah, man. We may even have you as a guest coming up. So yeah,
sure, no problem, no problem. Yeah. Anything that I could help, like I gotta tell people, like hands-on, like I might not be at every meeting now, but when you need me, I'm there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I'm dedicated to my work. And when I say I'm dedicated to my work, meaning that I gotta feed my family.
That's right. No, man, definitely.
Yeah. So I cannot stepping back from doing a lot of things that I used to do and dedicated to my work, because I'm looking at myself that, okay, I'm in my mid-40s. Before I blink my eyes, I'm gonna be 50. And then after I blink my eyes again, I'm gonna be halfway there to retirement.
That's right. That's right.
I gotta, like I said, I gotta put in that work. I gotta make sure that when I do decide to say, you know what, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm good. I don't want. I refuse to be in my 60s and still working because I have debt and all that. No, I'm not doing that.
That's a good set of goals, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm dedicated to this work. I might not be a high scholar like a master's or a doctorate and all of that, but believe you me, my work speaks for itself. I always tell
almost definitely, man. Yeah. You don't need a degree to contribute to the community and to be productive. So yeah. So
I'm saying so. But if you need me, Bongo, and you know where to reach me.
One of the ways you could contribute is by being a paid member. So.
Yeah. like I said, let me know. Let me know.
I'll let you know. We'll advertise.
We'll talk about it. Yeah, we talk about that. We talk about that on a personal note. But congratulations with you on that. I think you're the right. When I found out that you were president, I said perfect person.
Yeah, thank you. I got to thank Fafa, Queen Fafa, for that.
Big up to Fafa. Big up yourself, Fafa. Good people.
Yes, good people. Bless Queen.
Sure. Good people, man. All right, so yes, this is now the part of this interview that I'm so excited to share with my listeners of Mr. Bongo Mitchell. Even though we was going through a pandemic, even though we was going through a lot of global issues, Mr. Bongo Mitchell took it upon himself and made it to Africa. He traveled to Africa last year.
Yes.
And I was like, wow, you know what I'm saying? That is cool. Yeah. Anybody that been to Africa, I'm always like, wow, like that's always someplace that I always want to touch. I think I will be emotional if I get to Africa. It doesn't matter whether it's South Africa, Ghana, Nigeria, it doesn't matter. Just being on the motherland, I think I will be emotional. You know what I'm saying? Just me talking about it right now, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? But tell us a little bit about your trip, man. What made you decide to go to Africa now with all the stuff that is going on?
Well, it's actually, I'm a part of a program called Thrive, which is a part of another organization called TMS Global, and they support missionary work throughout the world. And so this was asked to be a coach for pastors. This program is supposed to help American and international pastors to continue to thrive in ministry and to have a cross-cultural experience in helping to build their skills and helping them to know what it's like to do ministry with people that are different from you, and how to grow and take care of yourself. They hired coaches to work with the pastors to making sure that they are taking care of themselves as well, because they're human beings who are doing this work. And a lot of them who don't take care of themselves get themselves into a lot of mess. And so I'm a coach for 2 African-American male pastors here. And we've had a couple trips. Well, one trip to Ghana. One I went on my own because my visa came late, so I missed the program, but I decided to still go. And then they did a redo to participate in the program. We were also supposed to be in Turkey right now, but because of the pandemic, it was canceled. So they're gonna reschedule it. So I'll be going back to Ghana again in March sometime. But it was just just an awesome trip, beautiful trip, and just a surprise. I didn't expect that. You know, one of my goals on my bucket list is to end up in the motherland sometime, but I didn't expect it to be so soon. So it's just an honor, man.
So so Ghana, I know a couple of years ago, I think, matter of fact, before the pandemic started, which was 2020, it had a big, I think that was one of the big years to go back to Ghana.
Yeah, the year
Tell
of
us
the
a little bit
return, I
about
think
that.
they call that. Yeah, that was, I think, a big to try and, because I think Ghana has just realized how much they played a role in the slave trade, and to help, one, make amends, but two, to really try and encourage people to return back home. They had this big to do, and it was just powerful. I didn't even realize about it at that time. Is going on this trip is when I heard so much about it. And it's just, and the people there, they just, anytime they recognize someone who's from America or from even from the islands, they're just consistently just welcome back, brother, welcome.
Wow.
It was just a powerful experience to just have them greet you in that way.
So Bongo, tell us a little bit about the part that when I saw that you was in a river.
Yeah.
And you was talking about that you had to wash yourself in that specific river or lake. Well, I won't call it a lake, but just like a river. Tell us a little bit about that part there. That was very emotional.
Oh man, yeah. Let me see if I can share my screen a little bit here.
Okay. Let me see. Do I need to do anything on my end?
No, I think you're good. Hold on.
Oh, good. Okay. All right.
Let me make sure. But yeah, man, that was an emotional, just an emotional opportunity and time to do that. So let's see here. So I'll play this short video and then I'll.
Okay, cool.
A cannon round ball, a metal ball, added to the chains around their ankles to hold them still in the river. When they were there, they were trying to take off the dirt. So most of them were scratching themselves on each other, rubbing their bodies together. But when the raiders saw them, they thought they were consoling themselves.
All right, so let me quickly explain what was going on, what he was saying. That part that we were showing you, there's 2 parts to the river. There's a rough side where you see the river going, and there's this more calm side. And they brought the people from all over, just some mid-Africa and especially on the coastline of Africa, to bring them there. And they've been walking for like miles, and they've had to go at that time through treacherous areas and even where lions and other animals would kill some of our folks. They're realizing that some people were getting killed, and in order for them to form distractions from most getting killed, they would tie some of our people to trees and let the animals or the lions go attack them, and then they would take another route to come to this place. And after walking for miles, they would be filthy, they would be dirty, they would be stained, they would bloody. And they would have them washed there. And while they were washing, I guess what they were saying, they were rubbing against each other to kind of take off the dirt. But the captors were feeling that they were just consoling each other, and so they separated them and took the leaves from the bamboo trees and use it to wash them. And the leaves are not leaves you want to rub against your skin. And after they would do that, they would rinse them off and put shea butter on them so they can be shiny, because right out on the shore there, on top there, was a lot of the people who would purchase, the middlemen who would go purchase slaves for the owners. They would come and purchase them right off of that river. And the ones that didn't get sold because they're too weak or they're too old or whatnot, they would kill them and dump them in those bamboo bushes that you saw, you see in the background there. And it was just a horrific time for the people. We had, you talked about the year of the return. These are some grave sites that people who were brought back during the year of the return. One of them, let me see if this one was a grave site. It doesn't have a name on it because I think it was the Prime Minister in Barbados. She rounded up all anywhere there were markings where people of our ancestors who were slaves who were buried. She gathered all their remains, and during the year of the return, brought them back. So they're all buried in that grave site.
Okay. Okay.
They were trying to get, there were other grave sites. There were two others as well. One was an African-American man who became a general or high in the military, who was a former slave, and he's buried. He's the one in the middle. Oops, sorry about that. He's the one in the middle here. And then this sister here from Jamaica, she was from Ghana, who actually went to a slave, who was enslaved in Jamaica. She went on a hunger strike to just protest against slavery, but they needed her healthy. And while they were trying to feed her, she would just close her teeth. So they took like a chisel and hammer and break off her teeth and force food down her throat. And so during the year of the return, they brought her back. That was just, terrible.
That's deep. That's deep. That's deep. Wow, that's deep. Man. I saw a couple times that you was walking barefooted. Explain that to the listeners, why that mean a lot to you. I know we accustomed home walking barefooted. Now that we moved to the States, I don't go outside barefooted. I got put on slippers.
Right.
I walk in the house with socks on and stuff. But when I saw you walking through, well, we would call it a shortcut or whatever, barefooted, my first thing I was saying, Bongo gonna get something stick up in the foot, Tell us a little bit about
custom.
Yeah, custom. Okay, put them hard.
Yes. So it was the same. It was the same path that our ancestors took to walk down to the river. And so I decided, I wanted to kind of walk in their footsteps, and so I took off my shoes. Let me see if I can pull up a video where I was actually doing that. And wanted to just participate in that and to just connect and be one with the people, one with our ancestors, so really to kind of feel it, to have more of an impact of what was going on there. And so that for me is what what I was doing. Hold on, let me see if I can share that here. Let me know if you can see the video.
Yeah, I'm seeing it.
So this is just, the same path. I mean, they walked down this path. That was, for me, it was just mind blowing, man. And to be able to do that and to walk in it was just so moving and just, just eerie, man. Just
See that part there? I would have been running. I would have just been running. I see why I try running. I try to
yeah,
get out of that shortcut, you know?
yeah. So that's that's what that was for me, and it was hard being there.
Right, man. I appreciate you sharing those clips with us, man. And to all the listeners, man, if you ever have time, I understand that we get fascinated with people who go to Dubai. Dubai. Me personally is like, look, I rather go to the motherland first before I go and entertain any other country. That's just my opinion. You
Yeah,
see
man.
what I'm saying?
It
That's
does
how I
something.
feel.
It really does something when for many of us who don't go there often, the first time you hear so much about the motherland, Africa, where we came from, our ancestors, and to actually just be there, and it fills in something that was missing. Like reading about Africa is not enough as being there, and it's just psychologically, spiritually just connected, and you just feel the power of our ancestors and what they've gone, and actually seeing some of the culture that still remains, especially with the Ashanti tribe that is there. I had an opportunity to meet with the Ashanti king, who's like the top king probably in most of Africa, and a very powerful guy, and had dinner with him. It was just amazing experience. One of the things I learned there, because back here we in America and in the Caribbean and in the Virgin Islands in particular, we call each other sisters, queens and kings, and that's for us to let us know that we came from a legacy of kings and queens, that we are just not nothing or just peasants or low people or lesser than others, and so we do that to empower each other. And definitely that's why I call people, I call brothers kings, I call sisters queens, for that same reason. But when I was calling them that while I was there, I noticed they weren't responding to me. And then I started like, why isn't that? And then it hit me like, oh shoot. They grew up and know what it's like to be among kings and queens. So they didn't have to empower themselves in that way. So when I asked them that, like, why, like, I noticed that, you didn't respond to me, like some of the friends that I've developed. And they said, like, yeah, because, that's a sacred thing. We know who is the king. And it felt a little awkward when you would call me that. Oh, and so I was like, wow, I didn't make that connection.
Wow.
And so I tell them I also do it from a spiritual perspective, that we are children of the divine, which is the ultimate king and slash queen. And so we have to, every human being who's been created by God, I believe is of royalty. So that's the other reason why I do it.
Most definitely. If you just joining us again, our spiritual advisor and president of the Georgia Virgin Island Association, Mr. Warren Bongo Mitchell. He's here with us tonight, man. Shout out to everybody on Facebook Live. Melvin Samuel, I see you. Positive vibe. Big up yourself. Hey, Shelly. Happy birthday. Happy 50th birthday. And we also have Nicole Robert Warner. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. Nigel, all the way from Florida. Chastity, my classmate. What's going on? Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you, man. Hey, Jacqueline Sehenio Gums, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate y'all, man. Also, shout out to everybody on Instagram. Carrie, I see you, man. Appreciate you, man. My nephew, Mashawn, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. And everybody else, appreciate y'all. G Money, big up yourself. Thank you for tuning in. Miss St. Thomas, lady, thank you for tuning in. And also my neighbor, all the way from Bermuda. Big up yourself, Jerry Friday. Big up yourself. So Bongo, so is anything that you would like to share with the listeners? Anything that you think that is needed to share right now, since this is the beginning of the year? I've seen a lot of people continue to be doing a lot of things. Oh, this is something that I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
And after that, if anything you would like to share with the listeners. But I was listening to a brother from St. Croix, Randy Cruz. And it looked like he relocated to Florida. So he does a lot of cycling. He ride bike, and when he take a little break, he go live and just kind of share some positive stuff with people who's listening. Cool brother from St. Croix.
Okay.
And over the last weekend, so I pretty much he's gonna do one this weekend, but the one last weekend he was struggling with you know, how he was giving positive vibe, positive messages. And I think he struggled with someone said that you ain't changed, you just the same old person. And he felt like, hey, it is that I guess he's getting older.
Okay.
He's getting older. And of course, when you're getting older, you're getting wiser.
Right.
You get wiser. Things that you used to do in your past, you don't do anymore. Right. So his message to everyone is just kind of tell people that, hey, you know, let's move on. It's okay to change. It's okay to better yourself and so forth. But of course, some people was saying, oh, you're the same Randy, whatever. Right. And he was kind of like trying to figure out like, why is it that people always, you know, they grade you of the person that you was 20 years ago, not what you're doing now. And the reason why I'm sharing this here with you, Bongo, is that I'm going through the same thing right now, believe it or not. Okay. You know, the person that I was, I would say, early 2000, mid 2010 time, you know, that's when I was buck wild and whatever. I'm not the person I am right now. And I continue to see that a lot of people continue to look at me as the person I am. Okay. So I'm not saying that I'm struggling with it. I'm to the point that it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Right. But I could see what he was coming from. Right. Where he brought it to the live attention, Facebook live attention. And I wanted to respond, say, you know what, brother, I'm going through the same thing too, because, you know, you reach out to people on a one-on-one basis, and they'll say they get back with you, and they never get back with you, and you're like wondering like, what's up, like why this person moving shady? But when you really think that this person probably think that you were the same person you was 20 years ago. Right. So they probably saying, nah, I ain't gonna mess with this dude. You know what I'm saying? Right. So how can individuals that trying to better themselves or try to be a better person or not just a better person for themselves, but better person to their community, how can we overcome that? Okay. With you know, getting all the negative backlash or people reminding them that you're the same from 20 years ago. Yeah, I think, you know, it's a great question, and it speaks to the importance of when we do something, it has to be because of that's what we want to do for ourselves. It can't be because we're looking for reaction or responses from people. It can't be the main motivation. And you know, when Randy said, you know, how come people, you know, and even as you're asking people, well, it's not everybody. There's some people who are like that, and there's some people based on their own dysfunction, their own woundedness, insecurities, that will always see positivity in a negative light. And for their own issues of maybe trust, for them to you know, to protect themselves, they have to see symbols of what made them, or what hurt them. They have to continue to see it in that light to protect themselves from ever wanting to trust that person or that situation again. And so a lot of times they're really speaking to where they are, not necessarily where they're the person where you or Randy or whomever is. But we have to be mindful that we have to do things because that's what we are, that's what we want to do for ourselves. It cannot be because of we're looking for something for somebody else. And so it's so important that the term that I use, I come up with, that's called being self-true. That you can't be focused on
worrying about what other people say and what they think of you. Your responsibility is to consistently be true to who you are, and knowing that when you do the right thing, it's not always going to feel good to the other person, or even sometimes feel good to yourself. And so wisdom is a thing that we have to use to help guide us, not feelings, right? Feelings can be manipulated. Feelings can make something appear to be good when it's not. And so it's important that we are in tune with who we are and how we are and why we are and whose we are even, and using wisdom to guide our behavior, our decision making, and not feelings or not what people think or say. We have to be what I call being at home with ourselves. And being at home with ourselves, I'm gonna share the screen again. Is what I have an acronym for it, and being habitat of owning your magnificent existence. And it's magnificent because we were created out of the DNA of the divine, which cannot be destroyed, right? And we're called to own that, not rent it or sell it out, like pretending to be somebody we are not, or just serving other people and not serving ourselves. And in that magnificent, an affirmation that we have, what I call a sweep affirmation that we could use on a regular basis. There are two main levels of affirmation. There are affirmations that's based on what you do, and there's affirmation based on who you are. While what you do is not bad, but a lot of people identify who they are with what they do. No. Who we are is consistent, no matter what we do. Even a murderer, a rapist, they are still what I call significant. They're still worthy, made of excellent, powerful, and enough. The question is, or the challenge is, that stuff, that worthiness is covered up by so much junk based on a lot of unresolved stuff, that they allow that to influence how they view life, how they see themselves, and how they deal with people. And it is our responsibility to operate within what's being at home with ourselves. And I have what I call the 5 pillars of being at home with ourselves: presence, truth, love, peace, and authority. Presence has 2 levels to it. It means the magnificence of who we are, the wonder of who we are, the worthiness of who we are, which cannot be destroyed. And in order for us to truly appreciate that, we must be present. We must be intentional. We must be in the now, emotionally present and attuned and attentive to who we are, what's going on within us, and who people are and what's happening around them, what's happening around us. And that is our responsibility. We must always also be in alignment with truth, being aware of it, acknowledging it, and accepting truth, even when it doesn't feel good, but accepting it and acknowledging it without any judgment towards self or towards others. Truth is actually, we were made out of truth. We were made out of substance of the divine, and God is truth, right? And so if we were made out of that, the more we align with truth, the more we are in tune with living a life where we're not worried about what other people say about us, right? And truth is a support. Reality, no matter how terrible it is, even with all what we're going on through and even losing loved one, we cannot successfully move into tomorrow. Or another way of saying it, we cannot be successful in tomorrow if we are not choosing to accept the reality of today. We cannot. Today is the foundation of tomorrow. And if we beat up today, or we ignore it, or we try to pretend it doesn't exist, we're now creating an illusion. And now we're creating a tomorrow from an illusion, which is going to set us up for more disappointments. Does that make sense?
Make a lot of sense. A lot of sense. Deep, deep.
Another one of the pillars is what I call is unconditional love. Again, we hear God is love. So we are love. That's the essence. If you want someone to heal from a wound, whether it be physical, mental, or spiritual, apply unconditional love to them. Surround them with unconditional love. And if we want to heal ourselves, we must apply self-love, self-compassion, and loving ourselves with grace, especially when we have messed up or made mistakes or we have failed. It's one of the best ways to reprogram when, as a kid, we may not have gotten that love and that appreciation or validation from our loved ones, from our guardians, from our parents. We as adults, we are no longer bound by parents of the past for what they did and didn't do. We are no longer needing of them to do what they should have done. It is our role now to become guardians of our souls, our role now to be guardians of our emotional selves. And so when we are in pain, it is not anybody else's fault. our responsibility to respond from that pain, heal from that pain, and move on. That is on us, right? Not another person, right? And another pillar is peace. We hear it, especially in the Bible, talks about there's a peace that surpasses all understanding. That is not the same peace we get when we feel good, when it's just a pleasurable peace, or when things are going our way. Those peace are temporary, right? This peace is a one that is beyond emotional peace. This is not an emotional peace. This is a peace of being, and it's embedded in the essence of who we are. And once we in tune with the peace of who we are, especially when we can learn to love ourselves in spite of our mistakes, in spite of the things that people are calling up and say, you used to be such and such, and you used to do, and you're right, I did. That's what I used to do, you know. And there's this peace that we need to strive for. There's a story that I really like that says that there was this guy, a supervisor. He used to do presentations, and every time he did a presentation, he used to wet himself, right? And his supervisor got sick and tired of it and was like, man, you need to get some help. And so he went to get some help, and he went into therapy, right? Therapy is really good. And after, say, 2-3 months of therapy, he went back and told the supervisor, yeah, he's ready to continue doing presentations again. And the supervisor like, are you sure? Are you ready? Are you healed? He's like, yeah. He went back, did a presentation. Guess what? He wet himself. Supervisor called him back in his office. I'm like, I thought you said you were healed from this and you were ready. He's like, yeah, but you still wetting yourself. And then he said, but I'm okay with it now. Peace, right? Peace does not have to wait until our conditions are in order, until things are perfect. We can find peace where we are in the midst of the storm. That's why the eye of the storm is so critical. The storm respects the eye. Cannot come into the eye of the space, or the space of the eye, to do anything to it. So if we can create an eye within ourselves, which is the peace, that's where we then need to then engage with the storm from. But if we choose to leave this peace and go into the storm to try and mess with it and try and deal with it, the storm will swallow us up. The storm does not respect us if we are not operating in our authority, right? And when we are operating from a place of peace, that's when we should really operate from our authority, because we can see things more clearly. We can understand things better for what it is. We're not going to get caught up by emotions or what people think, or even when our expectations are not met, because we live by something higher that is a representation of who we are. Right. And so these 5 pillars, I really, really believe, if we are able to live within that, it doesn't matter what our past was. We are not our past. We are not our behaviors. We are not our emotions. We are who we are, and we are divine beings. We are offspring of the divine. And the more we align ourselves with these 5 pillars, to me, we'll be able to overcome just about anything we go through.
What do you think that we struggle with that though, as Black people? You think it have to do with our history? Like,
I used to think that the history, especially with regards to being enslaved and being descendants of that plays a role. But we got issues before that, right? A lot of why slavery was even as successful as it was because our own people participated in it, right? A lot of the victims from tribal wars were what other tribes would give up, would trade for goods. So those issues didn't come because of colonialism. They were there because we're human beings. Yes, slavery has definitely had an impact, but we have to be mindful. Our history did not start with slavery, right? And we have to be honest with ourselves that some of the stuff that we're dealing with is our own shit, for the lack of a better term. And so we have to be able to be truthful about that. And I think once we are honest with ourselves, that even when, say, our parents did us something, as an example, right? We went through an abusive situation growing up. If we keep holding on to the victimized story that this is what happened to me, and because of what happened to me, I can't do such and such, or that's why I keep doing such and such. Okay, there's truth to that. But the next question is, what are you going to do about it? And we cannot continue holding on to a story that is not in alignment with you living up to your greatness. That is on us.
I honestly think that, you know, and this might sound kind of vague or, you know, yeah, right, or nah, I'm good, Russell. But I really do think that all Black people should seek counseling. You know what I'm saying? After what you know, I experience in counseling, and I see that we really need to talk to somebody, because sometimes sometimes talking to the wrong people could really, like, it don't really help. It just make things worse, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
And like I said, I'm not a professional like Mr. Bongo Mitchell is. I'm just giving you my opinion. And I'm
That's
just
the name of
going
the
based
show.
on name of the show. And also, I'm just giving you things that, like I said, I struggle with. You know what I'm saying? In the past. I'm struggling with it now, but it's a little better compared to how it was before.
Right.
And talking to someone, man, don't think that, nah, or we don't trust talking to somebody because they're gonna put my business out there and this and that. That's something that you have to work on.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not gonna say that talk to any and anybody.
Right.
But
That's
talk
important.
to a professional.
That's important. Right.
Yeah, talk to a professional. And whatever is bothering you, speak to someone, see if they could help you, man. And even if you feel like you're not getting what you're looking for, it's okay to go to seek somebody else, because trust me, I mean, counseling, I ain't, you know, probably this might be my third counselor. And it's not because I have a problem, it's just that I have to feel comfortable with that person. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or I'm not finding what I'm looking for. I'm not getting from this person. So I'm gonna try somebody else. But that's not telling me as a person that, nah, 3 strikes, I'm out. Nah, I ain't doing it no more. Nah, it just, you have to find that person that you could relate to, or when I say relate to, meaning like, okay, the understanding my problems, my issues, the understand, you know what I'm saying? Don't tell me what I need to hear. Tell me what I need to do. You understand?
And that's why people know, and even clients who refer their family members, coworkers, and friends, they know if you're not ready to come see me, don't come, because you're not ready to hear the truth. I'm gonna say it in love, but I'm gonna tell you what it is. This is what I see. This is what it looks like to me, and you got to deal with the truth.
Right.
And so you need somebody who, as you're pointing out, who will be honest with you, but from a place of love. Because some people can present truth, but present truth as a weapon to hurt. That's when we violating truth. That's when truth is not healthy. Right. Because truth and love should never be separated. Right? They can't. Right? So love, there's no love without truth, and there's no real truth. Truly, truth that is alive, truth that is organic, truth that is healing and empowering, if love is not a part of that combination. So
most definitely. But hey, Bongo, I mean, like I always said, I know it's been a while, but I always say this here, man. I think I don't think I have enough money to pay you for being on this show for so long. I mean, there's so much thing that we could talk about. And you know what? And it gotta be my fault. I'm gonna say it's my fault. It shouldn't take 5-6 years since you've been on this show. It should be something that we need to do very often, because I think right now, with all the stuff that is going on around the world, especially within the Black community, we need to hear from someone. We need to have like a platform where that, you know what, with all the stuff that we see on social media, say, you know what, we need a step back. Let me call Mr. Bongo Mitchell and tell him, look, man, we need to cleanse this this social media platform, because it's so much, man. It's so much. It's so much, man.
As I think Tamara saying that, people are hurting. People are hurting. There are a lot of people in your face that you work with in your family. They're hurting. And so we have to be careful of the things we say around people. We have to be mindful that a kind word or a smile can really shift someone from going over an edge. And literally that could mean that as well. It is important that we, in order for us to be able to do that, we need to take ownership of our lives and responsibility for ourselves, and making sure that we are okay, because we are part of systems. You know, if this finger is hurting, the whole hand is going to hurt.
Whole hand is hurting. Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
We are part of that.
Yeah.
And if everybody's doing their role, the whole hand functions in such a powerful way. So we really need to be mindful that, you know, of our own pain as well.
Most definitely, most definitely. Bongo, man, it's always a pleasure, man. Before you go, I want you to leave one statement or one word of encouragement, word of wisdom to the listeners out there, because I know a lot of people listening. Even shout out to Jeffrey Hughes. He told me to tell you he's still in Facebook jail. So
okay,
he's listening to me on Instagram. So pick up yourself, Jeffrey.
Big up,
I have to put you out there, man. I have to put you out there, Jeff. I have to put you out there. But he told me to say hail up there. He said, I'm still in Facebook jail.
Blessings.
All right, but is anything you would like to share with the listeners, a word of encouragement, word of wisdom, anything that you would like to leave with us, because we really need it, man, and I really appreciate you with giving us a little what your acronym stand for, home, and all the stuff that you live by. I really appreciate it. But any word of encouragement that you'd like to give to the listeners, I appreciate it.
I guess I could a metaphor, something I use when I meet my clients for the first time. I tell them that, you know, we were born with greatness in who we are, but we don't live out of that greatness because of a lot of toxic stuff we have gone through, even family ancestry stuff we have inherited, our own family life, our own life, how we choose to perceive, how we choose to cope, and the narratives we create, because we organize life by creating stories. And those stories are made up of beliefs and assumptions. And a lot of times they're not true. All right. And the thing about our mind does not know how to differentiate between what is real and what we think is real. It will lean towards what we think is real. Right. And so all of that can cover up our greatness. And we start living out of what we have gone through, right? Or what we are going through. But there's hope. You know, nature kind of teaches us a lot about life. And one of the most powerful lessons nature teaches us is that nothing goes to waste. So as nature is living, it's offering itself to life. When it's dying or dead, it's still offering itself back to life. And I believe we were created in that same concept. So there's two things I think we got to do, right? One, do what nature does. Take all this crap we are dealing with or have gone through and surrender it back to the soil from whence we came. And that soil is the divine. God now can transform that crap into fertilizer to actually nurture the seed of who we are. Because that's what fertilizer is made out of, right? And that's how the forest continues to grow. They continue to recycle the stuff. The other thing we need to do is to take ownership of the responsibility of our lives, is to walk in the authority of who we are as children of the divine. When we don't walk in the authority of who we are, our problems, our emotions, our thoughts, and our ego, and even people will start dictating how we should behave. So if you want to shift things around in your life, to be mindful, no matter what you have gone through, your life is not over. There is still hope. But you have to be willing to do your part and taking ownership and recognizing I have to be honest with myself in order for me to surrender it. That takes a lot of courage. You don't need confidence to get things done. Courage, though, because courage is what you will more have access to before confidence. Confidence is something you develop over time when you have been successful at some things and you've developed some skills. But courage is what gets us to confidence. And courage is what you need now, is what we need now. To help us, in spite of seeing what's going on around us, we need to have hope and courage to go and say, I'm going to make it to the next day. I'm going to make it in this next hour. And that hope with courage is what I would encourage you. Take ownership of who you are and whose you are. And let's do this thing.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Bongo, I needed to give your listeners, well, my listeners, your listeners, everybody, your social media platforms, your information. If anybody would like to reach you out for personal use or just follow you on social media, I want you to give them all your information.
All right. Well, the website is journeyofselfdiscovery.org. That's journeyofselfdiscovery.org, all one word. I'm on Facebook as Warren Bongo Natty Mitchell. You can check me out there. And my Instagram is warren.mitchell.inspires. That's warren.mitchell.inspires. So check me out there as well. I try my best to put out positive stuff. I'm not one who posts every single day. I realized when I was doing that, I was draining myself, not taking care of myself.
Trust me.
And so I will post either when I get inspired or feel called to do so. But you know, you're guaranteed to get something good. So check me out.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. Well, Bongo, is always a pleasure, man. Again, let's not wait another 5-6 years. We got to do this here. I need to have you on the show again before the year is out. That's gonna be my go to you.
Let's do it.
We definitely have to get you on. It's always a pleasure, my brother, man. Always, man. Sometimes we need to hear that. We need to hear that word. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
we
boss.
need to hear that word, that positive word. And I think that we needed it. I said, you know what? We starting a new year, and believe it or not, this is the third time, and it's always wrong this time.
Yeah.
Right. You check it
That's
out.
true.
It's
That's
always
true.
around this time that you come on the show.
True that.
And you see that that's a pattern. That's a good pattern that I always want to start off the year on a positive note, man. I try my best. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I know we fall short. We fall short as individuals, but for the most part, I try my best to start off the year on a positive note, man. It's always a pleasure, Bongo. Appreciate you, King, man. Appreciate you with sharing your journey to Africa. It was inspiring. Thank you, man. Thank you for everything. Thank you for your word. Thank you for everything. And definitely, if you need me on the association, VI association, just let me know. Hit me up. Let's talk. We're going to definitely talk off camera. I need to holler at you about something too.
All right. Cool.
I appreciate you, man. As always, man.
Much love, Adrian. Yes, man.
Yeah, man. Bless up, okay?
Thank you, people. Thank you for listening. Thank you for having me. Yes, and check out the Virgin Islands Association and our vibe. We will let you know when we are coming on. But thank you all for all your support. Truly appreciate it.
No, most definitely. Yeah. Bless up, my brother.
Much love, King.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
All right. That was Warren Bongo Mitchell. He's the president of the Georgia Virgin Island Association. Oh, I got a lot of stuff in my hand. Yeah. All right. So he was he is the president of the Virgin Islands Association here in Georgia, and also a spiritual advisor. Shout out to everybody on Instagram. It's my first time on Instagram. Appreciate y'all. I'm gonna try to see if I could do this here a little bit more often. Just to get my listeners on Instagram to see what I do on every Friday night. And also shout out to everybody on Facebook Live. Let me give you all a shout out. Who we have here? Mr. Fredericks. Mr. Frederick, big up to school. Joseph Gomez, teacher. Been a positive brother for so many years, man. Big up yourself. Thank you for tuning in. Jasmine Vaughn. Big up Tonky Massive. Thank you for tuning in. Stacey Rose, my #1 supporter. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. Brian Mercer, thank you for tuning in. Hey, Jimmy Motion, big up yourself. Appreciate you, brother, man. Thank you for tuning in. Leader Dennis, what's going on? Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. Leon Ricketts, thank you for tuning in. Jackie Joseph, thank you for tuning in. Turbin James Sr., appreciate you, man. Marcia Thomas, all the way from the DMV. Thank you for tuning in. Hey, Rudy, big up yourself, man. Thank you for tuning in. Hey, Cuz, Philip, what's going on? Big up yourself. Hey, Tamara Dorsey, thank you for tuning in all the way from the DMV. Appreciate you. Melvin Samuel, thank you for tuning in. Positive Vibe. Shelly HC. Hey, Nicole Warner, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. Stan Phillip, big up yourself. Nigel Evelyn, all the way from Jacksonville, Florida. Appreciate you. Chastity, hey, classmate, thank you for tuning in. Roll Tide, Willie Harris. Appreciate you, my brother, man. And of course, my cousin all the way from Japan, Tony Rapsap, big up yourself, man. Appreciate y'all, man. And make sure y'all tune in next week, Friday. We're gonna be I'm not too sure. Maybe next Friday or the following Friday, we're going to do our situationship, the first for the year 2022 with yours truly, Russell's and Elise Rose. I'm going to keep y'all posted with that. But definitely, man, we appreciate y'all, man, tuning in each and every Friday night. Check me out on Instagram and also Facebook Live, man. Appreciate y'all. And also thank you to Mr. Warren Bongo Mitchell. Warren Bongo Mitchell for joining us tonight. Appreciate this, brother, man. Always a pleasure to have Bongo Mitchell. Spiritual advisor, man. Spiritual advisor. Always a cool brother. Always positive, man. I always like to start off the year on a positive note, man. So make sure y'all check him out on Facebook Live, Instagram, and also check out his web page. I'm gonna make sure post it on my Facebook page as well. All right. That's it for tonight, man. It's 9:21, 9:21. Oh, also don't forget, make sure you go on YouTube. Go on YouTube and like and subscribe. Subscribe and like my YouTube channel. That's hashtag JMO Talk Show. Please, just like, subscribe. So you could go back from 2020 all the way up to 2022 and see all my shows that I did. And if you want to give me some positive feedback or some stuff that I could do better, sure, I'm all ears. But go ahead and like and subscribe. I'm like this here, man. Look, I know a lot of people pay money to get likes and all that stuff. I'm not doing it. I'm always old school. I'm a person that, look, I always start things from the ground, come up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not paying no money for people to like my page and for me to start making money. I'm not doing that. I believe that the people that want to support you, they're going to support you. Who don't want to support me, that's fine. I get it. But the people that needs to hear it or people that wants to see me grow, just go ahead on YouTube. Everybody have a YouTube page or YouTube channel or YouTube subscription. Go on YouTube, go on the search column, hashtag JMO Talk Show. You're going to see my page. Subscribe to it, like the page. Appreciate y'all, man. That's all. And you can see I think I got like 40 something, close to 50 shows on there, man, and growing. I got to add some more. I haven't did December, the month of December. So I got to add December and this month. But we got a lot of shows on there that you could check out. Let me know. You know what I'm saying? And look out for Situationship, the first for 2022 coming up soon, okay? All right, now, appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all for tuning in, and I'll see y'all next week. Peace and hair grease, one love. That's it. Instagram, appreciate you.
Bless up, King.
Yes, sir.